Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Popular U.S. YouTuber Jada Sheaves and associate arrested in Jamaica on firearm charges. Popular U.S. YouTuber Jada Sheaves, also known as Jada Wader, and Gregory Wright, a member of her entourage, were both charged by police in Jamaica with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition after two guns were found before their departure. A senior Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF source disclosed that while preparing to depart the island, two persons were found to have been in possession of two 9mm pistols. The source revealed that Jada Wader and a member of her entourage had reportedly brought the firearms into the country on their private jet when coming into Jamaica. These weapons are licensed to the persons in question in their home countries, but not in Jamaica. The two individuals were interviewed in the presence of their attorneys, the JCF source revealed. Jada Wader and her team landed in Jamaica on a private jet last week to celebrate her 24th birthday. Jada Wader and Wright are booked to appear in the Western Regional Court on Wednesday. So addictive, online games distract some Jamaican students from learning. Miss, you see them game here? Them very addicting, very addictive. Those were the words of a student who sought to explain to his teacher why several of his classmates were distracted and falling behind. In addition to internet accessibility and device limitations, teachers and students in Jamaica face another daily challenge to effective online learning: video games. Just last month, China announced it was banning children from playing online games for more than 3 hours a week to reduce screen time amidst concerns that it may be oversized influence on society. And for a social studies teacher at Papine High School, Jamaica has the same problem. I remember last term, I noticed some of my students were falling behind, students who were very active in classes and stuff like that. So one day I said to them, guys, what is the problem? And one student said to me, because I heard about the games and stuff like that, Miss, you see them game here? Them very addicting, very addictive, the teacher who taught grade 8 and 9 in the last academic year reported. And I know some of them don't log on, and you have students who will inform on them and say, Miss, so-and-so is playing game, that's why them no come to class, the teacher continued. I think it is a serious issue because even today, I had to say to some of my students that listen, the persons who created PUBG and Free Fire and all those other games, they are okay, alright? So don't spend your time playing games and not doing the work. The high school teacher said one of the strategies she uses to keep her students active in classes and monitor their participation is calling on them. My strategy is to call on them constantly, and sometimes I will say, listen, if I don't hear you, you will be marked absent. Because what we did, we have a system, well, that was in lower school, I'm not sure about upper school, where we have responsible students who record time the names those persons who attend classes. So when they attend classes, their names would be recorded, and then their parents would be sent the name so their parents would know if they were in class or not, and then this now might trigger something when the parents say, what? So-and-so wasn't in class, she said. Still, even with her strategy, the students remain distracted. They want to come out of class and go play game. Of course, you have times when a teacher, you are sitting in front of the camera and you become drainy, your eyes become weary, and these are students. These are children, so their attention span may not last throughout the time. So alright, I'm here listening to Miss. I'm not in class writing. There's nobody monitoring me, so let me go and listen to Miss and go and play a game. But in truth and in fact, sometime when you call them, it's yes, Miss, but you have asked a question. What is the question? They don't know, so it's obvious that they are distracted, the teacher explained. I had a student that was very active in class, very attentive, always there on time, always participating, and I noticed that his attendance was falling. He was coming in late, he wasn't participating how he used to. He was one of the students who I asked what was happening, and he said, Miss, game, game, game. It made me distracted, Miss. It affect me focus and it's so addictive. Miss, it addictive, it addictive. Coming like you can't stop play it. It very addictive, she added. But a 16-year-old teenager at St. Andrew Technical High School doesn't see video games as all bad. He said video games help to keep both him and his friends sane. Admitting that he plays video game more during the pandemic than before, he said, "Before COVID, we could go out, watch movie, have fun. Now we have to stay inside and we're not seeing our friends. And you know, like how you could go out and enjoy yourself with your friends them, you can't do that anymore. You can't interact with people like you used to one time. When we play games, we interact with our friends over game so we can play with them, talk to them, enjoy it and them things that he shared." Noting that video games take up more of his time during the day, the student who said he only plays games during classes when the teacher's Wi-Fi chips out or is down, or if no link to a class was provided, insisted that it does not impact his learning. At the end of the day, when you go online classes, some people learn, some people don't learn, and sometimes teachers no come class. If 5 people are in the class or the teacher no send no link, what you supposed to do, he said. For Malaysia Garden, an English language and literature teacher, grades 7 to 11 at Arden High School, video games have both a positive and negative impact on students. I think that they allow students to learn how to multitask so they can do more than one thing at a time, and they can also transition from one task to another quickly. So I think video games help with that. Also, I think it helps them to process information better. So because things are happening so quickly in the video games, I think it helped them in cognitive development. Anything can be positive in how it is used and how the learning is transferred and how it is managed, she explained. But Gordon could not deny the negative impact video games have on children, noting that they are very distracted playing video games in classes. I've heard horror stories of teachers having to discipline students because they are playing video games in classes. It's a distraction. For me, my experience with video games is not that it affected learning, but it affected how the students behave, the teacher said, citing example of students becoming depressed due to not being able to allow to play games. Gordon teaches approximately 40 students, of which she said at least 35 are engaged at any time. For online classes, our attendance is a little bit better than some other schools, some other experiences that I have had. With everybody being online and social distancing, we may be getting there, but I don't think we're at our peak with students and the trauma of online or video games, but I think we may have some issues with screen time overall, she continued. For Gordon, the camera interval strategy works best to monitor students' participation. For my class, what I do is, it's hard to monitor online because everybody is in their own space, in their own world, so what I do sometimes is turn on the cameras during intervals. You'll have some students say, "Miss, there are other persons in my background. I can't turn on my camera." I don't care. I just want you to turn it on for 2 seconds. Let me just know what is going on and to make sure that you are there. They're coming up with a lot of different teaching and management systems now, so it's kind of easier, or not easier, but it does help to monitor the students Nearpad and Quizy. If you give them activities using Nearpad and Quizy, then you can see in real time the students who are actually participating in those activities, Gordon said. Nearpad is a website that offers real insight into students' understanding through interactive lessons, interactive videos, gamified learning, formative assessment, and activities. Likewise, Quizy allows teachers to join online activities in their class and find or create their own Quizy and flashcards. The general idea is, let me see where you are, what you're doing at any given time, the teacher added. Meanwhile, a senior representative from the Ministry of Education said school administrators have never reported addressing an issue regarding children playing video games during online classes. It is not an issue we are dealing with at this time, the representative said, adding that school boards and administrators have the remit to institute measures to treat with students indiscipline during inattentiveness during remote learning. Some of these measures include, but not limited to, periodic requests for cameras to be turned on for online learning, students' participation in class discussions, and for an established class rule, random requests made to students during lessons, student and parent conference to address learning concerns, the merit system, referrals made to guidance counselors for counseling and welfare needs to be attended to, mentorship, and so on. Where issues are beyond school-level management, this is referred to the Ministry for intervention. No intervention has been requested to date, the representative said. Morris says next PNP administration will implement legislation to protect senior citizens' rights. The opposition spokesperson for Labour and Social Security, Senator Dr. Floyd Morris, has expressed his solidarity with senior citizens during Senior Citizens Week 2021. In a statement yesterday, Morris said the People's National Party (PNP) has long supported the elderly by implementing programs and policies that specifically cater to their needs. The establishment of the Jamaica Drugs for the Elderly program in the 1990s, the creation of the Program of Advance Through Health and Education Path, and the National Insurance Health Plan (NI Goal) in the mid-2000s were all initiatives by the PNP to improve the quality of life of our senior citizens, he said. Morris said it was the PNP administration of the 1990s that first established the National Policy for Senior Citizens. The next PNP administration will formulate and implement legislation to protect the rights and dignity of our senior citizens. Our senior citizens deserve all the protection we can offer as they work in service of our beloved country, Morris continued. He called on all Jamaicans to ensure that they treat all senior citizens with love and respect, not just during this week of celebration, but throughout the rest of their lives. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.